Yahoo, one of the biggest names in tech, is reeling this morning after announcing that it suffered the biggest data breach in history. The company says that more than 1 billion of its accounts were hacked in the summer of 2013. Yahoo says that it has since taken steps to secure those accounts, but is still trying to figure out exactly who was behind the breach. For more on this and a whole lot more, joined by Nicholas Thompson, CBS News contributor, editor of the New Yorker magazine's website. And there is the what did we know and when do we know it? But we now know that this happened in 2013. How is it possible that we're just hearing about this now?
I am so distressed about this hack. I mean, sometimes you hear about a hack and you think, okay, that's just another thing that happens to everybody.
Yeah.
This one is really bad. Both the scale, 1 billion people, the fact that it happened in 2013, the fact that Yahoo does not know the exact intrusion. This just came about because the government said to Yahoo, it looks like somebody may have accessed your data. Yahoo looked at it and said, oh, we can date when this happened. And then also, in the note that Yahoo put out there, looks like the hackers got a lot of information, and it looks like the encryption technology that Yahoo was using internally was obsolete. So Yahoo, this is really bad.
Other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? The last time that hundreds of thousands of accounts were breached, September, the chief of security ended up leaving his job because he couldn't answer these questions. Is it fair to assume at this point that Yahoo has been sitting on this information?
Well, A, it was hundreds of millions. B, Yahoo was sitting on information about the previous hack. It doesn't look like they were sitting on information about the current hack. What has come out since hack A, before hack B, a lot of people saying this is the result of a choice at Yahoo, right? It is hard to protect information. You have to encrypt it. You have to hire really expensive engineers. It doesn't show up in the quarterly earnings reports. It's not something that has an immediate benefit. And that Yahoo chose not to prioritize this to the extent they should have. Other companies hired every security engineer they could. Yahoo did not. They had other priorities, and now Yahoo is paying the consequences.
Well, and so because, especially as it concerns email accounts, security is, for, I think, an average consumer, the only thing that matters. We did this segment a few months ago, and I asked you how on earth could anybody stay with this company after that. You wanted to believe.
I did not say delete your email account then.
No, you didn't.
I've come around. I mean, look, you can still use, I used Yahoo Weathered this morning. You don't have to leave the company. You just have to not give it your security information and the stuff you really, really care about until they can restore confidence.
Because that's it. And it's not a question even of trust between a consumer and Yahoo. It's a question of faith.
Right.
Because as you mentioned, it's not just that the company needs to spend money that you can't really see on a bottom line. It's also, I have to believe that my information is safe. There is no way now that I could believe it. Now, the question, I guess, is, can Verizon, which is on the hook for $5 billion, believe in this deal now? So
Verizon has to look and they have to say, okay, of the $5 billion we spent for Yahoo, how much of that were we valuing things related to email, to personal security, to stuff that we might lose now that this trust has been broken? And how much were we paying for all the other stuff, right? The Yahoo homepage, the Yahoo News service, which is affected a little bit because the brand will be denigrated. So Verizon needs to look and say, what is the value of A, what is the value of B, and how is that going to change after the hack? I think Verizon is going to ask for a substantial reduction in the deal. I mean, Yahoo's stock was hammered last night after this came out, and rightly so.
Quickly, I want to ask you about the tech summit we saw here yesterday in the city, attended by many.
Many.
Jack Dorsey not among them.
No.
It is fair to say, in a way, that the president-elect has himself acknowledged that, to a degree, he rode to his victory on the back of Twitter. How is it possible that Twitter's not at the table yesterday?
Well, the charitable explanation is, Twitter's actually not that big a company. It's really big when it comes to influence and what we talk about and how I spend my time, but it's not that big in terms of market cap. But it really does seem like the reason it wasn't there is because Donald Trump was fighting with Twitter about emojis.
And not just any emoji. Because the emoji I wanted for hashtag crooked Hillary was not provided to me. And because Twitter essentially took an apolitical stance. I mean,
well, okay, Twitter says they took I mean, look, I think, so Twitter says we did not allow anybody to have political emojis. I don't know whether Hillary Clinton asked for a, crooked Donald emoji or something. It seems possible that Twitter
is the only emoji discussion we will ever have on this program.
I hope it's not. And I actually bet you it's not the last emoji discussion of the Trump administration.
It definitely won't be that. That is for certain. But again, as you mentioned, the cultural impact of the medium is unquestioned. That wasn't a market cap meeting.
Right.
That was an influencer meeting.
That was an influencer meeting, and Twitter should have been there because of their cultural influence. And there's no question that Twitter was hugely important, both because it allowed Donald Trump to get his message out and because he really seemed authentic. Yeah. And there were a lot of people who saw his Twitter personality and felt they understood him. It turned off a lot of people, but it drew in a lot of people. He was authentic in a way Hillary Clinton was not. And just that fact, I think, was really important for him building up his stature during the campaign and getting people to like him. So Twitter really, 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 really matters for Donald Trump. And it was a little surprising that because of that, Dorsey didn't get the invite. But we also know when Trump gets mad about something, he tries to extract a price, including meeting invites.
And we also know that sometimes people say one thing and then do another.
It's happened before. That may happen again in the next 4 or 8 years.
I'm being told I have to leave it here. Uber in 3 words.
Perfect, classic Uber.
Nicholas Thompson. Speaking of perfect and classic, as always, we thank you.
Thanks so much, Josh.